Ladies and gentlemen, I'm starting the series of videos about the Russia's politician. He's considered to be the most outstanding politician ever in Russia's Duma. Let's have a look what he says. I'd like to take the chance to be able to congratulate, and the minister doesn't understand, or the deputy doesn't want to visit the minister, and you have congratulated, our interior ministry. We shouldn't congratulate just beforehand. We shouldn't do that. How long will you be celebrating your festival? The 10th of November, you're celebrating the 100th anniversary. Did we have the police before the 10th of November? Didn't Alexander the First, the Tsar of Russia, and you celebrate the Russia's police festival starting the 1970th, and it's a wrong way to do. All the departments have transferred when the ministry has been created, and you are just sticking up back to the Soviet era celebration dates. You have totally forgotten those who have the Kharitonov. You'll have to shut your fuck up there. You go and visit every exhibition. You have got the chairperson of your fraction, and he has to speak about for all the fraction. For 30 years you are a deputy, and you have to shut up there. And you shouldn't just shout out of your seat. You're uncultured. Where the people without citizen come from today, who we call them the migrants, the decree has been set in 1921. And there has been a decree to strip of their citizenship those citizens who stayed abroad more than 5 years. And when we had the Tsar, we had the entrance and the exit from the country was absolutely free, and millions of people. And during the Soviet times, a lot of people were stripped of their citizenship, and the borders were closed. And up to now, we passed the laws on reviving the citizenship of those who went abroad, their siblings and their ancestors who are unable to get back into their own country. We have given up the idea we have given up the idea of the relocation of the people. You don't even give them kind of the job; they are staying jobless. And all those deputies and governors should be put to prison because their performance is bad. We've got a lot of money. Let them have some money. Those people who are active and would like to do the job, they would be able to get an employment for themselves. And you say all the time that we're not gonna let the migrants in. We'll have to get the program to bring in the program of the relocation of our citizens, of our compatriots, those who live in Kyrgyzia. In 1960, 16 young Kyrgyz just went on strike. They didn't want to go within the Soviet Union laws. It was a military calamity. It was a military uprising there in Kyrgyzia because nobody wanted to let them in. And in Kyrgyzstan, they have adopted the law against the victims, those who were put to death back in 1916. and we accept those people who visit us from Kyrgyzstan and let them go here and come to Russia, get the training, necessary university training. And while you, there has been introduced an exam while you take the citizenship. And I can, and I'm absolutely agreeable for those who are the non-Russians. But why, out of what the Russians, the Russian national has to take the Russian exam when he's a lot of people have been put to examination, those the Russian nationals. I'm going to ask you the question, what was the question for the cowardice in the medieval England? I don't know the answer to this question, and you either. Out of what? What the heck? Why the heck should we know the text which included the question when about the cowardice tax in the medieval England? And nobody knows the answer to that question. It is everything is aimed at just leading the student towards the failure of the test. In 1914, we adopted a law here. We passed a law to provide citizenship within 2 months. Those who come from Ukraine, within 2 years, you are going to get arranged the citizenship. Do we keep up to that to that adopted law? No, the adopted law has been broken. It doesn't work. You know, we always make amendments to the laws, and that doesn't work. And so we'll have to react. It's of very great significance. Let them work here, the migrants. Those migrants who come from Kazakhstan, they'll have to know Russian. They'll have to pass the test, tests whether they are capable of speaking Russian or something like that. There are a lot of details. I'm living for 60 years in Moscow, and there are different kind of the streets, and even I'm staying here for the whole of my life, and I don't know all the streets and all the crossroads. You know, it's very important. And those people who arrive here from the mid-Asia, near Asia, they of course they don't know. They don't know almost anything how to be able to stop the migration. All the legislation is repressive, to deport, to arrest them, put to prison, investigate, something like that. It's very repressive. We are the harshest police country. The Soviet Union has been the harshest country who policed everything, put to prison everybody. And we had thousands of times less inmates during the Tsarist times compared to the Soviet time. And the Soviet time, people were unable to speak out. They were put to prison all the time. They were even afraid of speaking their mind or saying something. And I investigated the case. Who told an anecdote about the Alexander III, and he was given the sentence of the lifetime span of 10 years. You know. And we always abuse the migrants. They live in the basements. They are killed every day. One migrant dies. Why you keep silent about that? They are being kicked off the roofs. They are been cemented into the cement walls. They abuse those who they were in friendly terms during the Soviet times, and nobody cares about that. It's a very it's a very successful thing that the Soviet Union has been toppled down and has been brought down. Do I'm speaking out of nothing? What I don't know? Do you know? Am I speaking out of the blue? The Soviet Union was correctly crumbled down. It was absolutely it serves them right that they broke up eventually. And Tajikistan has got a lot of fruits, a lot of wool, Let them buy out of Tajikistan. Why do we take that the import foods and products out of Europe so that let the people stay there, keep their jobs safe? Because if you abuse them, they'll become the members of extreme organization. They'll blow us up here. Those who were abused in Russia trying to get a job, because we've got to change that altogether. And repressive measures should be introduced, that the government has to provide jobs so as people wouldn't relocate from their own countries, because it's the most favorable, Kyrgyzstan is the most favorable area of the former Soviet Union countries. If we kick them out of the country, we cheat them on the wages, when we should pay them 50,000 rubles, we pay them 15,000. That's very bad. We'll have to adopt certain measures, but it's outside the Ministry of the Interior. Thank you for your attention.